Hello, my name is Sarah, and today I'm going to talk about multimedia networking applications, which is 9.1 in the textbook. So to begin, what are multimedia network applications? They're basically any network application that utilizes both video and audio. So right now with the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic, we've had to adapt to a new course of communication through applications like Zoom, GoToMeeting, and even Microsoft Teams. These have become our new way of communicating for school, work, or even just to talk with family or relatives. These applications allow us to make essentially what are called phone calls, but they enhance them so that they have video, so essentially making a video call. As far as audio and video go, they both have unique properties. So, properties of video. The most significant property of video would have to be its high bit rate. So, a bit rate is the rate at which the bits are transmitted to whatever the output may be. Video requires a higher bit rate because it employs the most bandwidth. In fact, video requires a higher bit rate than other applications like Facebook or Spotify, which is what the users in this example use. So if you look at page 677 in your book, there is a table or an example, and this is a comparison of the bitrate requirements of these three internet applications. So the first user, Frank, is using Facebook, and he's looking at photos. Martha is using Spotify to stream music, and Victor is simply watching a video. But they all require different amount of bit rates. And as you can see in the table, Victor requires a higher bit rate than both of the other two users. Therefore, higher bit rate, higher quality. Which brings me into that bit rate affects video quality. As I said, bit rate is the key measure of any video, so a higher bit rate equals a higher quality of video, and vice versa. A lower bit rate equals a lower quality of video. A good example could be YouTube. Every YouTube video has an icon in the top right-hand corner, and if you click on that, it gives you the settings, and one of the settings is quality, which is the resolution of the video. And this setting provides a range of video solutions. Majority of the time, the setting is set to auto, which means that the resolution/quality depends on the user's data speed and bit rate. So an example also could be if you're watching a video while you're on a road trip and you know you're getting to an area where you're going to lose cell service. As you begin to get closer to that certain area and you're watching a video, you'll notice sometimes that the video quality begins to be lowered, and sometimes it may even freeze because you lose internet right away. But you can see the video quality start to deteriorate as you get closer and closer to where there is no cell service. Another important property of video is video compression. Video compression is the process of encoding a video file so that it consumes less space. By doing this, it makes it easier to transmit the video via the internet. With video compression, there is two types of redundancy that video compression exploits. The first one being spatial redundancy. Spatial redundancy deals with the relationship of neighboring pixels in each image of a video. Before that, a video is basically a series of images that is displayed at a constant rate. So when looking at an image for spatial redundancy, if an image consists of mostly white space, then it has a higher degree of redundancy, meaning that the image can be compressed easily without significantly damaging the image before. Now with temporal redundancy, it deals with the similarities of similar images or the following images after each other. As I mentioned, a video is basically a sequence of images. So if you have the beginning image and then the following image is basically the same, but maybe one or two things changed, it's significantly similar, which is why temporal redundancy finds it easier to not re-encode the image if the previous image is the same or similar. So the main idea of temporal redundancy is to save on data and to work smarter and not harder. Another important property of video is that it can create multiple versions of the same video. So when creating different versions of the same video, a user can have different options that may work for them in whatever case or scenario they may be in. The video can be multiplied into different rates, and depending on what the user's situation is, then at the time of watching whatever video they may be watching, they can choose with the rate that best suits their current available bandwidth. So wherever they may be at, they always have a choice of the bandwidth for their video. Moving forward with the properties of audio, there's a way to convert analog audio to digital audio. Analog audio is basically the sound us humans make or any musical instrument creates. And to do this, the analog signal is sampled at a fixed rate. And in the book, it gives you the example of 8,000 samples per second. The value of each sample is then turned into some real number, and then each of the samples is then rounded to a finite number of values. This is all called quantization. And quantization is the process of converting analog audio to digital using numerical values. This all can be done by decoding the original signal, which is called pulse code modulation, also known as PCM. PCM is an encoding technique that decodes the digital signal in a certain way so that it is able to keep the signal or audio similar as it was before. In addition to PCM and quantization, there is another compression technique for audio known as MPEG. MPEG, I say 1 layer 3, also known as MP3, as to what most of us see it and hear it as. The coders within the MP3 can compress human speech, also analog audio, to different rates so that the sound is not as deteriorated as much. So MP3 basically does the same thing as the PCM and quantization, just a little bit faster because PCM is more used for the same thing, but PCM is rarely used on the internet and MP3 is more often used on the internet. Another technique is advanced audio coding. This technique has been popularized by Apple and it creates multiple versions of pre-recorded audio stream at different bit rates, similar to video. After this, we move on to the types of multimedia network applications. These types are split into 3 categories: streaming stored audio and voice, conversational voice and video IP, and streaming live audio and video. The first one, streaming stored audio and voice. So this falls into has its own 3 categories: streaming, interactivity, and continuous playout. So streaming is basically watching a pre-recorded video. For example, the internet applications in the picture to the side, YouTube, Amazon, Hulu, Netflix are all streaming applications. They all use pre-recorded videos like movies and TV shows or sports shows that everyone watches. And these are all examples to what the streaming category entails. So when streaming a video will begin to play after the server delivers it. So when you click on a movie and you click play, it notifies the server and the server delivers it. However, the server does not send the entire video at one time. Interactivity category is basically the pause and fast forward and stop icons on the movie or video that you may be watching. So essentially we're able to fast forward and move backwards. The continuous play is basically that the video should continue to play on its original timing. The second type of multimedia network applications is conversational voice and video over IP. This category entails internet telephony and voice over IP, also known as VoIP. These two are very similar. So with VoIP is a protocol that allows a user to communicate using video and voice messaging. As previously mentioned, like we use internet applications like Zoom or Skype or GoToMeeting. These are all different types of voice over IPs. Also, as you have noticed, when using these applications, they are prone to being delay sensitive. So you often find delays in the video or the audio, which is quite common. And the last type of multimedia is streaming live audio and video. So this deals with live transmission, the average throughput, and delays. So as you can see in the photo, the video and audio start is sent through the camera and it's going to an encoder. It is then uploaded to the internet and it's sent to a CDN, for which a CDN stores copies of video content along with other stuff in its server and attempts each user's request, and it chooses a CDN location that will provide the user with the best experience. And then after that, it is sent to an embedded player and for the audience to whatever device they are streaming on. So this is used for like sporting events or anything that's live that we watch. Entails to what this category is about. Now, when streaming live video and audio, it's also common to have delays. You may have seen a live video at the same time or watching it on two different devices with another user, but you're both not at the same time of the video or whatever you may be watching, which is also an effect of delays. So with that being said, this concludes my presentation. I hope you enjoyed and thank you.